Hey guys, it's Omedi here, and I wanted to just take a quick minute to talk to you about before pics. So by now you are a week into your challenge, and if you haven't already done it, I wanted to just re-emphasize why it's so important to take before pics. So I'm going to do that by sharing with you guys a personal story. So when I first started Beachbody a couple of years ago, my first Beachbody program was Insanity. And I was decided, okay, like I want to make a change. I'm going to follow this program to a T, and it said to take before pics. So I watched the video that said how to take the pictures, and it said you had to do these like 10 poses, like rah, and like sort of doing all these poses and whatnot. So I was like, okay. So I waited until I had roommates at the time. I waited until they were out of the house and I knew they were going to be gone. I waited until my partner Andy was out of the house and I knew he was going to be gone. And once I had the evening to myself, I got in my bikini, which I hadn't worn in years, but it still fit. It was tight, but it fit. And I went to the kitchen. I set up just one of those point and shoot cameras on the counter. I put it like on top of a box or something and set the 10-second timer, and I took the pictures. Now at the time I decided to wear sunglasses, and at the time my excuse for wearing sunglasses was that it was late in the day and I hadn't washed my face and I hadn't done my makeup and I didn't want to look ugly. I didn't want to like wash my face and do my makeup for these pictures, but I didn't want to look ugly not having done that, so I wore sunglasses. What I realize now is that that was because I was ashamed. I was ashamed of my body. I was ashamed of seeing myself in a bikini at that weight, and I didn't really know how bad it had gotten until I looked at the pictures on my computer. And I looked at the pictures and I was disgusted, like gross. I was like, that's disgusting. I felt very ashamed of myself, and subconsciously I know that's why I chose to wear sunglasses. So I hid the pictures on my computer, which is really silly because I'm the only person who uses my laptop. But I triple put them in 3 folders, right? So I had a folder that said like tax information, and then I hid that inside one of my academic folders, and then hid that inside one of my other academic folders, right? So like nobody would find it, which again is irrational thinking because nobody uses my computer. I wouldn't even let my partner Andy see the photos, and this is, the man that I lived with and slept with and all of that stuff, who sees me naked, but he could not see my photos. So just to give that some perspective. So anyway, fast forward, I'm 4 weeks into the program, into Insanity, doing my workouts, like trying to follow the nutrition plan, and it says to take photos every 30 days. So I took my next 30-day set of photos, and I was shocked. I was so freaking happy because right here, right, I'll show you guys like this part of my body, right here, get a little higher, I had like 2 or 3 big fat rolls in my before picture, right above my boobs. And in my 30-day pictures, I only had 1 fat roll. So I had lost a lot of fat up here in my chest area. And I went from looking gross to looking normal, right? And I was like, woo! I was so excited. I couldn't believe the results I had gotten. I believe it was 3.5 weeks exactly. And I was just joyful, right? Because I couldn't really notice a lot of other changes. I had lost some weight, but I didn't really know where or how. And that was awesome. So I actually ended up cropping the photos and putting a before and after pic side by side on Facebook. And I shared my 3.5 week results with Insanity. And I was so proud, and suddenly that before picture that was disgusting and had to be hidden became something for me to look back on and say, I'm never going to be here again. Like, my body will never look like this again. I was determined. And today, those photos are a source of motivation for me, right? Like, anytime I don't feel like working out, anytime I'm like, I look at those photos and I'm like, oh, that's where I was, and that's where I'm never going to be again. So I share that with you guys to really emphasize why it's a great idea to take photos. Photos can tell you things that scale will not tell you. Yes, you might notice your clothes fit differently, but photos will show you where the biggest changes are happening. There's no way to know that ahead of time. The other thing I recommend is this, which is a tape measure, right? So take measurements as well. And what I mean by that is measure your waistline, measure your arms, measure your legs, measure your hips. Because again, it's one thing to lose an arbitrary amount of weight, or some people actually don't lose the weight, but it just transfers. So the fat leaves certain parts and muscle builds in other parts. And so by having inches, by being like, wow, I lost 6 inches off my stomach or whatever, like that's a big accomplishment. You need stuff to keep you going. In the beginning, everybody's excited, everybody's fired up. And then come probably the 3-week mark, a lot of people will drop out because it just becomes too hard. So I want to give you guys tips of how to set yourself up for success when stuff starts to get hard. So take your photos, take your measurements. On the other side of it, just to kind of, for those of you who are already feeling like I'm fit, I don't want to lose weight, I'm only doing this for, I want to improve my health, my flexibility, my core strength, all of that stuff. Still take photos anyway. Some of you guys know my partner Andy of 5 years. He's an amazing man who's supported me through my entire journey. He also happens to be super ripped. He's like 10% body fat, right? So kind of frustrating for me sometimes because he can eat whatever he wants and he's super muscular and just ripped. He's the kind of guy that when he's like anxious or depressed, he exercises. He'll go for like a 25-mile bike ride, right? And when I'm anxious and depressed, I want cookie dough. So damn him, right? But anyway, he has done Beachbody programs with me throughout, and photos for him also are the same thing. They show him where his body's changing because his weight never changes. His clothes rarely fit differently. The guy lives in t-shirts and swim trunks, right? So you're not going to notice a big difference there. But photos will show him muscle definition. It'll show him where his abs have gotten more defined, where his biceps have grown, where his shoulders and back muscles have grown. So photos are good for anyone, not just if you want to lose weight. You really want to find a way to document your body changing, and for many people, pounds are not going to be that case. So make an effort if you haven't already to take your photos. I'm going to post a video below me that is Beachbody's video about how to take photos. And if you're feeling brave, post them up. Like, post up your photos. I'm going to post my photos up later. I took my before photos for Pio, so I will be posting them up so I can have a nice before and after. And yeah, look forward to talking with you guys and seeing you in there. If you guys have any questions about photos, let me know. Oh, one last thing, another good reason to take photos, get your damn free t-shirt. Beachbody will give you a free t-shirt for completing the program just by submitting a before and after photo. It doesn't have to have any kind of beautiful results. You just get a free t-shirt for doing it and going through the program. And everybody loves free stuff. Okay, talk to you guys later.